yourself up again, dust yourself up again, and get the hell out of the place if you want to. And I've seen others who said they went back and somehow they were able to recover from the shock of being sent back to that tech contraption. So why are Nigerians so scared of going back to Nigeria? Why is somebody that is not wanted in a country that you reside? Why would you be so scared of going back to Nigeria? A lot of reasons, right? Now I have another question. What do you think someone who is a patriotic Liejirian abroad? He has no document, he has no real means of survival, he is neither here nor there, but somehow he is still there praising the criminals in Nigeria. There are many of them in London, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are people who have no means of even going back to Nigeria anymore. The only way they can get to Nigeria again is to be deported back to Nigeria. There are many in London. A lot of you have some of them right here in London or in England as well, in Manchester, all these places scattered there, who are praising the criminals in Nigeria. Majority of them have no plan of going back to Nigeria, and they are stuck here, right? So I wonder, like, what do you think will make somebody who is Sabobaku, a one Liejirian, what will make him or her begin to fight not to want to be deported back to Nigeria, for instance? Like, I'm actually trying to share a true life story with you. True story. Let me say it. Because, sometimes some of these are also meant to be a sort of life lesson, right? Nobody is bad. Nobody is, the good, the bad. If you are a good person with good morals, right? Great. If you are a horrible person, right, with horrible morals, like no moral at all, it's also good. It has its own advantage. Okay. So if you are a very good, clean slate, not so much a criminal, we can use you as a good example when we are talking to people on why it is good to be good. I say, why don't you want to be like that person? That's a very good example of, a gentleman, a great woman, and all of that. Then when you see horrible people as well, right? You can also use them and say, the way you are going, you're going to end up like Bokuwari, an horrible human being, right? And then they say, no, me, I don't want to end up like Boko. So you can still use them as a good example, as an example in the long run. So that's how I'm going to use this story as an example. It's this guy, he's an Elegbon like that, okay? So we used to kind of mingle, yeah. And I remember very well when I used to still have that chance of mixing with people, like, attending gatherings and all of that, because they know that I am Mayegun of the Mayeguns Diary Political. Definitely, majority of them, when they see me, they want to have a chat around it, like try to tell me that I should reconsider my stand on Nigeria, stuff like that, right? Now, I know this one very well, okay? Is one die-hard Buhari idiot. He's in Nigeria now, right? One die-hard Buhari idiot. He's the type that now Elegbon to kind of like uncle level, like in his late 50s. So now this Elegbon will tell me or us how Bokwari was wonderful in 1984. How Nigeria would have been a great country if Bokwari was left alone. Then I would be like, Baba, why you they talk like this? Nigeria was bankrupted by Bokwari. Nigerians were practically queuing to buy sugars, rationed. Nigeria economy was like in the tank under Bokwari. Why are you driving this ideology of Bokwari? Nigeria would have been great because Nigerians needed discipline, and Bokwari gave them discipline. People were queuing. People no longer jump queue. People now are like queuing to enter bus. They are queuing to go into shop. They are like, I'm like, is that something that you just kind of feel so great about as a slave? What about the economy? Oh, the corrupt people. The corrupt people were running away from Nigeria because of Boko Haram. It speaks glowingly about Nigeria. Deluded them, motherfuckers, by the way. So then something happened. Ashelegbon himself was practically like, it was an illegal immigrant in the UK. What happened? I actually thought you were like settled. Why would you be so much like in support of horrible people who are sending more Nigerians out of Nigeria? Most of them just are taking any route or whatever it is just to get out of Nigeria, legal and illegal. You are here and you are happy that you've not been to Nigeria for the past 11 years, and you support all the rogues, the criminals in that place. So I kind of like, I just kind of like I cut him off, practically, like literally, I cut him off until we started hearing that Egbon needed help. Egbon was caught. He was drunk. He was caught. Then they discovered that he had no papers and all of that stuff. So he was going to be deported. He had no family. He had no relationship. He had nothing, so to say. So what's going to happen? They say Egbon wants to now, like practically, he now is now presenting himself to the Home Office as gay. We started looking for who will act like a gay couple for Egbon until they bundled him and sent him back to Nigeria. I was like, in my head, I was like, you are doing all of that because you don't want to go back to Nigeria, Abby. But Nigeria was supposed to be a great country, a beautiful place that Boko Haram was making better. This story was around 2019, 2018, 2019, before Corona. He wants to present himself as gay here. And I know he's not gay. He's not. But because they didn't want to go back to that contraption, he started looking for somebody to act like a gay partner. He started taking pictures. He started going to gay club, taking pictures, to prove that they have been a couple for so long, gay. Yeah? Now, Alaji, we call him Alaji. We call him Alaji. Suddenly, Alaji is gay. Yeah. And in Nigeria, they always kill gay. That's what Alaji said. Yeah. He said in Nigeria, they kill gay people. Nigeria doesn't like gay. He wanted me as Mayegu. That's how deluded he was. So he wanted me at some point to pick up his case and talk about how the British people are racist. They are racist. They are racist against blacks. He's been trying to regularize himself for so long, but because they are racist against him, that's why they did not give him residency in the UK. That I should use my platform to tell the world how these people are racist against Nigerians. You are a one Nigerianist. I'm talking about somebody who be say he's so passionate. The ones that will tell you at the end of the day that it is the reason why you are criticizing Boko Haram was because you hated Nigeria, kind of. And to him, he loved Nigeria. Nigeria is a great country. Nigeria is a beautiful place. Nigeria is yen, 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 yen. He will be talking about that in the barber shop. None of it is factual, but they're just based on that indoctrination they have put in the head of people like him. Then it was time for him to, it was time for them to send him back home. He started acting like he's gay. Nigeria kills gay. And a lie. Now, dear Bobrisky Day. Enjoy Nigeria. You will be protected. Now you know that there are gay people being killed in Nigeria. But Nigeria was all right. The UK you live in, where they are racist, but they don't kill you as gay. Why did you choose to be gay? Because you want to stay in the UK when you are not. Rob the system. So you have them they are everywhere. They are all over the place. They have no interest in Nigeria. But because they are safely tucked away, And the social media makes many of us anonymous. And they love Nigeria from abroad. Go back to Nigeria. Once they get to the airport, they'll start crying. Why are you crying? You should be happy to be back in Nigeria. At least if you don't get money to buy ticket to go back to the contraption, the one that you think exposing all the rod that actually sent you away out of Nigeria, sent you away from Nigeria. You go to America, you go to all these places, and getting yourselves involved in everything that will make you actually stay enough to go back to that contraption. But when you have little comforts, you're out there to defend the rogues. And then we have seen some of them too who are like rapists, deported, rapists, you know, thieves, those who have participated in different kind of crimes, like credit card crime, and so many others like that. But because they are safely here, everybody is looking nice. Everybody is, on social media, we are all like great. And then in that regard, you will see some of them who are also criminals, even abroad. Pay attention to some of those who are supporting the APC abroad. If you dig their lives, they are mostly criminals. Yeah, I'm serious. These are people who are comfortable with criminality. Those who are comfortable with corruption, cutting corners. So somehow, they admire the criminals in charge of APC. So from their own base abroad, they defend them. And some of them ended up being arrested and being deported too, but months later. And you will never know. You will never know. I'm saying all of this to you simply because I got a lot of feelings that 103 Nigerians arrested and deported from Turkey, jailed for 6-7 months. Some of them were in prison for 10 months before they finally sent them to Nigeria. You will not be sent to prison if your offense is just because you overstayed your visa or you have no residency, an illegal immigrant. They will send you to deportation camp. But when they send you to prison, you must have committed a crime. And indeed, you couldn't really bail out before the deportation date, no doubt. But back to that contraption. Okay? And some of you are probably like the APC Egbekegbe sympathizers abroad. If you ended up getting yourself deported for your crime, my advice is just for you to stay there. You will make it inside that contraption. It is a crime scene. It is a crime den. Yeah. But leaving that, right, we can go to Rivers. There's something reported from Rivers. And it is the cholera outbreak. It has killed over 30 people in Lagos. Somehow the media is not really saying much about it anymore. In Rivers State, 13 people have been reportedly killed and many other victims hospitalized. Listen to this AIT report and also what somebody speaking on behalf of the health department or something in Rivers State has to say what they are doing to help their people.
Cholera is an acute diarrhea illness caused by the ingestion of contaminated food or water that has been contaminated with bacteria. It is a severe and rapid progressive disease that can lead to significant dehydration or even death if not treated properly. Following the cholera outbreak in some parts of the country, the Rivers State Commissioner for Health, Adaeze Ore, during an update said Rivers State had recorded about 16 suspected cases of acute watery diarrhea across 3 communities in coastal areas of Andoni local government area, with 2 associated deaths.
The scenario was rapidly resolved, and 2 samples tested positive for cholera by a screening tool with a rapid diagnostic test kit, not confirmed by culture. So far, there are currently no active cases or any outbreak of cholera or acute watery diarrhea in Rivers State. We have pre-positioned commodities around historical hotspots built capacity of health personnel, and commenced community health education for safe hygienic practices.
She said adequate measures had been put in place to support patients in case of eventuality.
Surveillance is at an all-high for triggers and suspected cases. The Infectious Disease Treatment Center at the River State University Teaching Hospital, which is marked for upgrade to an infectious disease institute, is ready and able to manage cases. We will remain resolute and proactive to ensure health security for residents of River State without panic or stigma. It is important to remind you that cholera is preventable.
While assuring the people of the state government's commitment to adequately support the response and contain the disease, she advised the residents to practice good hygiene, ensure the safety of drinking water.
So be careful. In Nigeria, don't let it happen to you. Cholera is very dangerous. It is actually very deadly. It can kill you in hours and some in days. And cholera, even the name cholera in 2024 in Nigeria is a stigma. It is to show to you how degenerated things have become. But yeah, you know, if it hasn't happened to you though, maybe it is not that bad. Wash your hands as much as possible, as many times as possible. Okay, every time you remember, just wash your hands with clean waters. I'm sorry, clean water, and also make sure that the one you are going to drinking water, is clean. I don't think there's anything wrong if you actually have to prepare your own water. Boil it. Use your kettle. Boil your own water. Save it, and drink it. It is for your own good, though. Or you are in the traffic. Pure water, pure water, pure water. You grab her. Are you? You grab her. Another one came. Suya. You collect her. You dey munch everything there. And by the time you enter, you get to your bus stop. They say, Mirinda. You collect the Mirinda, you down it. Somehow, you probably feel like that's your feel for the day. But if you are going to kind of add maybe Scotch egg or something, you see all those things you are picking, right? Everywhere. I am not saying that, it's going to kill you right away, but if one of them should have any kind of contamination, I would learn, Wama yagbe wama bini. And I promise you, Baba, strong man, hard man. Oma di jellyfish ni o le jasiku straight up. Tell me magba right away. So the ideal thing is that I stay clean as much as possible. What the apple be say, sheets don't mix with water. And there are people who have consumed either the stuff washed with them or the whole water. Water crisis in Nigeria in 2024 is actually a really, really big problem, though, right? And it's not just a problem. They are pointers to remind you of how failed Nigeria is. And there's no amount of trying to, manage it that will kind of take that away. I don't think so. Please, so wash your hands, so wash your hands, so wash your food properly. Watch the water you drink, oh. I say that to my family members, and I'm saying it to you here, the Templars too. Remember. But let's kind of go on to another story. And this time around, it's an important one. It is coming from Peter Obi. Finally, he's actually saying something that a lot of people expected him to have actually weighed in a long time ago. But for some reason, he didn't. Now that he has said something, then it is better we kind of help amplify that too, right? He's talking about the injustice. The injustice that is being meted at Maazi on Nnamdi Kanu. a man that has been illegally detained, tortured, abused for years now for asking for a referendum, something that is also part of a democratic norm. It got criminalized. People have been killed in their thousands because the political class sees the danger of asking for the referendum of the breakup of Nigeria, what that will have as an overall effect on the rest of the fake contraption called Ligeria. So Nnamdi Kanu became singled out. The Igbos became more profiled. Systemic profiling that is so obvious, right? That there is no institution in Nigeria that has not been compromised to actually go that route. And we are watching that live. This is not even us reading about this type of injustice of, I mean, we've read about a lot of injustices that happened before we were born. A lot of us watching this broadcast today didn't exist before 1967. Some of you existed, maybe as kids, right? I wasn't in existence when that happened. And we have read a lot about what happened. Factual, established, you know, facts, so to say, of what happened. Depends on which of them you have come across. And there has been controversies around what people wanted to believe or not believe. Yeah, that's a vacuum that may never be filled. Those happened before we were born. I am here now. You are here now. And this is us witnessing what it means to be tribally or ethnically profiled. And the entire institution in a country that was supposed to be your country is in tandem with such institutionalized tribalism. A lot of people have kind of raised dust about how they disagreed with the arrangement of the current Nigeria, the structure. They say we're not supposed to be a country. And if we're supposed to be a country, we're not supposed to be this Nigeria. Now, that conversation has been, has been in place for so long, and somebody decided to educate a generation of why they must take it serious now. And then he became the enemy of the state. And we are watching how justice is being trampled upon. And a lot of us, because of our biases, some of us actually feel cool with that. But a lot of us are not cool with it. But we are not also acting, you will say. I mean, if a lot of us are not comfortable with this injustice, how come a lot of us are not out there taking it out on them? Then that comes to maybe some of us actually really wanted him to be locked up that way. But we just couldn't do it. We couldn't find any reason. But since Nigeria is a lawless place, well, maybe Nigeria could keep him. We are watching all of this injustice unfold. And before in the future, they're going to rewrite it. They're going to change the story. And those who are going to claim to be the victor, or those who are going to claim to be the powerful one, the ones who feel so powerful to lock an innocent man up because of his belief, right? They will write the story in 10, 20 years' time. They will present themselves as the lovers of men, lovers of humanity, the respect of rule of law, those who are they will call themselves Democrats. You will read stories, you will read things about these criminals. But you are living it now. You are witnessing the injustice. And you are just like, wow, how come? We've seen so many people suffer the injustice in Nigeria, by the way. We have also seen the states let them go. But the only question is, why is the state so afraid of letting Nnamdi Kanu go? Justifying the illegal detention of the man, and they continue adjournment upon adjournment of this is called sham trial. We have witnessed Nigeria disobeyed court orders. We have seen them disobeyed the directive of the court, even on his own rulings on his own fundamental human right, the right to his own faith, worship his own belief and all that, the right to have access to his family members on a regular visit, as it should be for psychological balance, right? The right to have access to his own medical doctor for personal assessment. Even the Daura Secret Service at the time that sought the advice of their own doctor to examine Maazi Nnamdi Kanu in their custody, gave a report and said, this guy needs a doctor. This guy needs to be in an hospital. This guy needs a proper medical care. At a point, they told us that his liver was swelling, he's having some internal problem. All of these were medically diagnosed and submitted to the court in Nigeria. None of this was obeyed, respected, all because he's an Igbo man. Lock him up. Nigeria is a very, it's a very dangerous place. We have been indoctrinated subconsciously that if you are tired of Nigeria's problems, of complaining about Nigeria's problems, the thing is that you are entitled or you are expected to know about Nigeria's problems, okay? However, you are not given that grace of mentioning the names of those behind that problems because they are mostly people from your tribe, from your own ethnic nationality, from your religion, and from all the places, right? So therefore, just talk about Nigeria problems. And if you are looking for who to blame for it, don't waste your energy. Just blame the Igbos. Just say it. All the problems in this country are caused by the Igbos. Man, the Igbos are the problem of this Nigeria. That's how we were raised. We were raised to say that. We were raised to believe that. And when you see an Igbo man or an Igbo woman, automatically you should just feel like, oh, it smells danger. Not danger, it smells trouble. We're psychologically raised to be like that, unfortunately. But somehow we were not really, so many of us were not really raised to even see you as Igbo or as Hausa or as this or that until the politicians decided to weaponize it. They've weaponized it now. And that is why you will see so many of these. There's something that came to my mind, and I won't use that. So I'll use something else. Or I may still use it anyway, but it's sort of harsh if it came out the way it was going to come out earlier, right? But there are so many of us who have now grown so insensitive, right? That somehow, if they don't like you or they don't like your way, they will assign, they